Do you remember what I did yesterday? Where were we? Something which I thought you were in the class yesterday. Can you let me know? Someone can type fast, or if you want to unmute your microphone and you can also speak. I have no issues with that. 6 people, good. Objects, classes, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, methods, attributes. Any, have you understood what all of that means? Yes. Thank you so much. I thought I have to do revision, but you know so much things. I'm really happy about it. Identity, classification, inheritance, polymorphism. Good year. I only had forgotten. You are making me remember all the things. Okay, Apurva. Apurva. What does identity mean? Okay, I will only explain. You have given me so much answers. So basically, in object-oriented modeling, what we are trying to do is, if you are writing an, I'll just give you a gist why you are reading this and what is the use of this one. See, all of you have heard about programming languages like C++, Java, and .NET. Anyone who has not heard, please sometimes if I'm not on the recording, please let me know, guys, because yesterday I was not able to join the class. ನನಗೂ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. Okay. Am I audible? I lost the connection for some time. Now is it okay? Okay, thank you. See, all of you would have learned about programming languages like C++, Java, .NET, like that. What are these programming languages? They are object-oriented programming languages. What is this object oriented programming? See, there is a type of programming. What you learned till now was procedure oriented. That is C programming language. Before that, there were other languages like Fortran, COBOL, and all of them. They were all procedure oriented. What you're learning, the others which we came after that, like C++, Java, and .NET, are all object oriented. What is this? Why this object oriented? And what, in order to come up before implementing the software in object oriented programming languages, we do come up with a model of that. That is nothing but object oriented modeling and design. Did you get that? Whenever you have to write an object oriented programming language like program in C++ or Java, you have to learn to model it. That is, see, any product you have learnt in the first module, right? You directly don't go to implementation. What do? You gather requirements, you design and then implement. Do you agree? And after implementation, you go for testing. So whenever you are implementing an object oriented programming language, you have to design it. So designing it requires you to learn something new, that is nothing but OOMD. Did you get now, all of you? See, you are done with the requirements gathering. In the first module, you learned requirements gathering. All of you, I think I've done enough of that requirements gathering. Yes or no? Aditya Raj, I think you would have bugged up by now by the term requirements. I have done so much, right? Even in the sleep, you can remember requirements. Okay. Next comes after requirements. What is the next stage? Design, right? So you are learning the design of object oriented programming. Okay. So what is this object oriented programming? We model things based on real world objects. Yes. So what is this real world entities or real world objects is there are two concepts that is objects and classes. Fine. So what did I say about an object? It is a real time entity which consists of structure and behavior. Okay. Then if you ask me why do we need to identify objects and then do the design, because they are they have some advantages compared to previous things, like they avoid confusion, the complex programs can be modeled easily. All that is possible when we are learning or when we are using object oriented modeling. Okay. Then what is object oriented? We said there are four, it is organized as the software is organized as a collection of objects. One thing I gave you is student database management system, wherein student is an object, faculty is an object, that is all the 60. Let's take for an example, if I want to develop a software for your class, I have 60 objects for, I'm sorry, 90 objects for all the students. I have 6 objects or 10 objects for all the faculties, all that, right? So all of them becomes objects, so we identify the different objects. Subjects is one object, all the 6 subjects. Faculties are one object. You can, like this you can identify all the real world concepts. And this object can be entity, like a real object, or it can be concept. So it is nothing but a collection of objects. We have 4 aspects: identity, classification, inheritance, and polymorphism. Identity means it is nothing but an object which has certain properties. It can be concrete or it can be conceptual. Okay. Mike's cycle bicycle is one object. Brian's cycle bicycle is another object. Some monitor is another object. Next, we have classification. Classification is nothing but a class, a group of objects which share the same attributes or properties are form a class, and this class will have attributes, that is properties, and operations, that is nothing but methods or something which we do on those properties. So bicycle can be one class, polygon can be one class. So all the students of a class, that is 90 students of AB section together, can form a class called student. All the faculties in with teaching you can form another class called faculty, like that, right? So that is nothing but classes. Then you have inheritance. Inheritance is nothing but one class inheritance the properties of the other. Okay. So the class from which you get the properties is known as the superclass, parent class, or base class. And the class which inherits all the properties is known as the child class or subclass. Okay. Then you have polymorphism. Polymorphism is nothing but one which exists in more than one form. So an operation may behave differently for different classes or for different objects. Like for example, move. Move function for in case of a chess game will be different for each of the pawns. Right? So polymorphism is nothing but um, The same operation behaves differently for different classes. For example, let's say move in case of vehicles. Okay, in case of train, the move is operation is different. In case of aeroplane, move is different. In case of bicycle, move is different, right? So a same operation move performs differently with respect to different objects is known as polymorphism, that is showing more than one nature, okay, or behaving differently in different circumstances. Then you have overdevelopment. Oh, so yes, I have identified objects and all. How do I do the development? First, we have to come up with a model, or I can say the stages involve um, analysis. That is nothing but here you have a methodology wherein I have a conception. See, all this I have done yesterday. I am just revising it. Okay, fine. So, how does this object-oriented model development takes place? There is a methodology for it. What does this methodology involve? It involves following stages. First is the conception. Conception is nothing but analyzing the requirements, what the user wants, or it is nothing but user requirements. Okay, next we have analysis. So in analysis we have two models: domain model, that is what is expected by the system, you get to know there, and application model, which tells what the application has to do. Then you have design. In design you have system design and class design. See, ma'am, what are these two types of design? Just remember, system design is overall system architecture. The entire system architecture, the subparts, everything is known as system design. Whereas class design is nothing but a class diagram identifying the different classes from the object, and coming up with a diagram for that, or coming identifying the different classes involved in your project, and uh, getting to know the relationship between them is nothing but class design. Next, you have a topic known as class diagram. There you will learn. Okay, so think about as a system design is overall architecture, class design is identifying classes. Okay, which will tell us which data structures, what algorithms to use, what methods to use. Everything is given in class design. Fine with this? Implementation is you have come up with the design, you know everything. You implement whatever is being designed using object oriented programming languages. Remember, the ones which you have developed, design for OOMD designs, what you have developed cannot be implemented in a non-object oriented programming language, or you cannot implement a class design or a OOPS design which have been developed in C programming language. No, you can't do that because C is procedure oriented. You can implement this design only in object oriented programming languages. Am I clear till now? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. Next, you had three models. So, when I say we OOMD involves model development, there are three kinds of models which we can develop. One is class model, state model, and interaction model. I'll tell you, this is a sure question in your examination. Okay. There are four questions I've given you in their assignment, which belongs to this module. All the four questions are very important. Please, apart from that four questions, there is nothing else in this module. Very easy. So prepare well for all those four questions. Fine. So What does this class model tell? The class model, it will identify the objects in the system and their relationship. Okay, so which are the different objects or which are the different classes in your software system, and what how are they related? Is there a relationship between objects, ma'am? Yes. Let's take for example, in case of the example which I gave, a student and a faculty. Isn't there a relationship between them? A faculty teaches the student. Isn't that there a link? So that is nothing but given in the class model. It identifies the classes and their relationship. And how do I develop these models? I have a diagram called a class diagram. Okay, these class diagrams are used for representing class models. What are these class diagrams? I will teach you. Just give me 5 minutes. After finishing this, you will go to that. Fine. Then you have state model. What does the state model means is it shows the histories of the objects. So, ma'am, student per faculty example you give. Can you give an example in the state model there? Now, can you tell an object in student faculty database what I have identified? What objects? Any object can you identify? In the last class, what I did? Which are the different objects which we identified? Yes, Anaga, either of the Anagas. Are you present? Anaga Shri and Anaga Inamdar. You're there? Yes, Anaga. Can you tell me an object? I put the figure also. Can you identify an object here? Student. Okay. So Abhijit is an object here, or a student is, yes, let's say is an object. Now, any other object apart from that, Anaga? Okay, I will take your example only. So I said state model gives the history of objects. Okay, ma'am, in student, what is the history, ma'am? See, let's say when the student joined the institution, he was in the state, I can say, fresher. Okay, after 1 year, he comes to the first year student. After the second year, he is a second year student, or he is a senior, I can say. And during your fourth year, I will say he is a outgoing student. So isn't it reflects the different history of that object student, starting from the first state till the end, and after everything he becomes an alumni. Yes. So this kind of change in the object over a period of time is given by state model. Did I give a proper example? We can say the change in an object over a time interval. The change in an object over a time interval is given by the state model. Yes. Let's take, ma'am, for faculty, how will you define? Yes, as soon as I join, I am in the, what do they call? I forgot it here. There is a post for that. I'm not a permanent employee. There is some kind of employee name. Oh, what is that name? I'm not getting it. Okay. Yeah, probationary period. Yeah, I'm in a probation. After 1 year, I become a permanent employee. Then I have a designation first assistant. After 4 years, associate. Then professor after 10 years. So, as a faculty, I am an object who during the course of time I am changing. Do you agree, all of you? When you want to represent such kinds of activity, you use state model. And in state model, you have a diagram called state diagram, wherein the nodes will represent the state. That is what this diagram, the circle represent the states, and arcs represent the transition from one state to another. From time t1, 1 year, I am from this fresher to the next position, to a first year graduate, something like that. So state diagrams explain the transition from one state to another of the objects during a course of a period. Yeah, am I clear? Guys, respond. Last diagram, what you have is interaction model. Last model, what you have. So, what is this interaction model? It represents the how the objects interact with one another. See, in class diagram, you saw only how the classes interact. But here you see how objects in the system cooperate in order to achieve the result. Example is use case diagram. In use case diagram, do you remember there was one person like called a sticker? Yeah, and what are the functionalities he has to possible by him? It represented through an arrow. That is nothing but use case diagram. Then we also have something known as sequence diagram. Sequence diagram shows how the object interacts during a time sequence. With what? During the first time interval, it interacted with the login module. From the login, it went to something like the web page. After updating, it logged out. So came back from this uh, email module, something like that. So how each object interacts with the other object or with the sequence of interactions is given within the interaction module. You also have an activity diagram here. So the different diagrams in interaction model are use case, sequence, and activity diagram. Activity diagram gives us the important processing steps. So this completes. Then I will go to O themes. Any doubts till now? So there are different themes with respect to this object oriented technology. One is abstraction. Okay, what is this abstraction is? It focuses on essential aspect of an application while ignoring the details. So basically this abstraction means we are giving importance to what an object has to do rather than how to implement it. So, one way of abstracting is coming up with a class definition, wherein we try to we identify the properties and the operations, but we don't give what has to be done within them. Okay, so it is nothing but you are coming up with an abstraction of your model by focusing on what is important rather than how. Fine. Next, we have encapsulation. Encapsulation means or information hiding means it is nothing but combining the data structure and the behavior into a single entity. Okay, this is known as encapsulation. Here also it is nothing but classes or objects. What we are trying to do is we are combining the data structure, data, and the methods which operate on the data into a single entity called encapsulation. Why is it called information hiding? Is the data is very secure when we encapsulate it within a single entity. Ma'am, why do we say it is secure? See, in encapsulation, we can give a secure the data by having access specifiers like private, public, and all that. I hope you remember. Some of you will be knowing. Private in the sense it cannot be accessed outside. Public means everyone can access it. So such kind of information hiding is possible when we are encapsulating the data and the behavior that works on or happens or can say manipulates the data. Okay, so this is nothing but combining data and behavior. It is nothing but the caller of an operation does not consider how many implementations exist. Here it is nothing but polymorphism. Okay, we have something known as overloading and overriding, wherein the method can exist in more than one form. There is also something known as operator polymorphism, wherein the operation can perform more than one task. The next thing what you have is sharing. Now, sharing is provided through inheritance. I hope I told you in inheritance, right? In the example what I gave in the figure. See, if I say student class and faculty class, this is the student class here, fine, and this is a faculty class. Okay, so both of them are subclasses, and department is the superclass. So they can share the data, that is the name of the department, HOD, and the location and all, right, rather than having it separate within their things. So they are sharing this department data. So this kind of sharing is available in your OOPS. Basically, sharing data sharing is possible through encapsulation. So that is what the sharing via inheritance is, all that what you have in theory. So you have something known as emphasis on essence of object. Basically, it means that we give importance to object rather than the code. So data is given more importance in object-oriented methodology. Synergy means here all of them coexist. That is, ma'am, object oriented will have only identity, only classification. No, it is not like that. All this together coexist so that they can implement the object oriented technology. Fine. Any doubts still here? So can you all people read this? By then I will take your attendance or I'll finish this. After this, you have again the three models that you can read. By then, I will finish my attendance. Next topic what you have is a modeling as a design technique. What is a model? A model is nothing but see, what you're studying is object oriented modeling and design. So what do we mean by a model? So a model is an abstraction of something. So an abstraction of something for the purpose of building it before purpose of understanding it before building it. So I hope I've told you most of the science. We come up with a model, right? Why? Because we want to see how before we start with something. Yes, there are advantages. We want to check whether actually it is possible to build what and all may be the problems and all. So a model is nothing but an abstraction of something. What we have understood, based on that we come up with a model before actually implementing it or building it. So why does this model required? A model is required. First thing is is testing a physical entity before building it. You just want to see what will be the problems or what are the things which may cause problems or complex things. That's the reason we build a model. So we test it before building. Communication with the customers. Once we come up with a model, rather than before implementation, what it serves is it serves as a means by which the customer can evaluate it, or the customer can see what is required, what is not required, or you can get the feedback from the customer once we have a model. The other thing is visualization. See, uh, when you would have seen the models, right? So many uh, buildings or something like that, they come up with a model. It will allow us to visualize how things will be once we build it. So that kind of visualization is given by this model. The other thing is reduction of complexity. Yes, what and all may be the challenges, everything that can be made out using in these models, so it will reduce the complexity. So a model serves why is a model important? Because of these four reasons. Yeah, is it okay? Next we have abstraction. Abstraction is the same thing. It is a selective examination of certain aspects of a problem. See, ma'am, why are we doing this if you ask me? Always object oriented modeling and design, all these concepts will come into picture only for complex projects. Okay, something which is very complicated, we come up with these models. So, an abstraction is nothing but certain, we examine certain aspects of a problem. So, here it is to isolate the important aspects and remove it from the unimportant. So we are coming up with an abstraction of a problem. How to solve it, what will be there, kind of a things. We come up with that abstraction. Yes, of course, all abstractions will not be complete or completely accurate. Only it will actually address certain part of a problem. But yes, abstraction is certainly required when we are dealing with complex problems. Okay. Next we have is the three models. I thought you right now. Just now I explained what are the three models: class model, state model, and interaction models. Remember, class model, state model, and interaction models. Synergy. Oh, sorry, Kavya, I'm seeing it now because I was in the PPT. Synergy means, Kavya, see, there is a concept of class, right? There is a concept of object. There is a concept of inheritance. There is a concept of polymorphism. All the four aspects you have studied, no, Kavya? Yes, sir. See, they don't exist independently. All these four concepts has to coexist, or they have to be in harmony. Okay, it means that all of them are related together. Did you get it, Kavya? I mean, one cannot be contradicting the other. See, only if you have classes and objects, only then you will have inheritance. Okay, and polymorphism. So it means that they don't exist independently, they exist in a harmony or in synergy. So all this should work together in order to have a proper object oriented model. Is it fine? So the three models you people can read. Meanwhile, let me open the attendance and take the attendance. Okay. Once you're read with the class model, let me know. I will switch my slide to state model and then interaction model. But I'm not going to explain. I'll ask you to explain. Answer your attendance. USN 1, 2, 1 is absent. Asta, okay. 3 done. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18 is absent. 19, 20, 20, okay. 21, 21, yeah. 22, 23, 24, 24, 24 is absent. 25, 26, 27, 27 is absent. Shri Harsha, 28, 28, 28 is absent. Okay. 29, Rakshit, 30, 30, Chandan, 31, 32, 33, 30, 33, Chirag, okay. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 39, Dipali, 40, 40. Okay, shall I move to the next slide? State model. Yes. See, for the exam, if it comes for the test, I won't mind if you write these points which are there in the slide. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 53, 54, 55, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, yeah, 68, 68, okay, 69, yeah, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 81, okay, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Okay, guys. So let's move to the last one, that is interaction model. So I'm not going to explain because I've already done it. So in interaction model, what diagrams you have is use case diagram, sequence diagram, and activity diagram. Any doubts in this? Yes, you can go through the interaction diagram, 2 minutes. If any doubts you can ask, then we'll go to the next topic. Next topic also I have done most of the things. I just explained. I think classes and objects I've explained you enough, right? Deepali, can you mute your phone? So please go through interaction model. If any doubts, let me know. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, guys, any doubts? Yes, Medini. Okay, Medini, what do you understand by interaction model? Yes, Medini, I will mark you present. So just give me an answer of what do you understand by interaction models. You're there, Medini? Interaction between objects. Okay, then anything else? That's it. Fine. Next chapter, what we have is the third chapter, class modeling. So this class model is nothing but it represents the relationship between the objects, the attributes and operations with each class of objects. Basically, you will learn what are classes and what are objects again in detail. Okay, so a class model, what it does, it captures the static structure of a system. You learned right class model, state model as well as interaction model. In depth you will be learning what is class model. Okay. For your syllabus you have only till class modeling. So what does this class model do? It captures the static structure of the system. See why do I say static is it does not show me the interaction like in state diagram or interaction model. Okay. In the state model and in interaction, it shows the changes in the objects. Okay. Whereas the changes in the states of the objects, like that, how the objects interact, all that is shown. But here in class model, it is static. So that is what it means. It does not change what is the static structure of a class and an object that is described here. Fine. Yes, it provides an graphical representation of the system and hence what are valuable for communicating with customers. So it gives the structure of the class and the object. I told what is an object is a concept, abstraction or a thing with which has an identity. Nouns. How do I? One way of easily identifying objects are usually they are proper nouns. Usually, I'm telling. Okay, most of the times they are proper nouns. So whatever nouns you identify in an application, those all become as objects, and they have an identity and they are distinguishable, right? When I say an object of a student, one student and one faculty, they have their own identity, right? So all objects will have an identity. If they don't have an identity, then they don't come under the category of objects at all. So they will always be have an identity and they are distinguishable. Okay, these things you have to remember. They are have an identity. They are distinguishable. They are proper nouns. Fine. Okay with this. Then we say group of objects which have similar properties, that is attributes and behavior is nothing but operation. They are grouped into class. So we say an object is an instance or an occurrence of a class. Fine. Is this visible? See, first you have a class by name person. And what are the objects of that is one person by name Joseph, other person by name something Mary Sharp, and another person we don't have a name for that. See, how do we write diagrammatically a class and an object is like this. Always a class will have the name of a class by represented. But this is all the persons are grouped into this class, that is by name person class. But whereas an object will have an identity of its own, so when I say person, there should be some person who is having an identity of its own. Here the name is an identity, so I gave it as Joe Smith colon person. Okay, so here whenever we are having a class, yes, only the name is there within the rectangle. Whereas in objects, you will have an identifiable object name and the name of the class. Always you will have an object name, colon, and the name of the class, and that object is underlined. So how do I diagrammatically identify between a class and an object is like this. Wherever there is an object, I will have a name associated with it. Okay, then colon and then the name of the class. Fine, which is underlined. So these are all the objects which are of type of person class. Did you understand the figure? Can you write it for students? I identified. Okay, let me finish the other part. Then I want all of you to write that, and I'll ask someone, and they have to send a snapshot to my WhatsApp message. Listen carefully, everyone. I will explain the class now and an object now. For whatever I taught you in the yesterday, I will like to you to come up with a diagram and send it across to me. Send it to my WhatsApp. Those are those who I asked. I want everyone to write. I'll give you 5 minutes. After that, I will ask someone to send it to my WhatsApp. If you are not sending it to me, then today two classes I will mark you absent. So listen carefully. I have 71 students now. I have the list. See, how do I represent classes? See, the classes are given by this kind of a rectangle. On the top, I have the name of the class. If you can see there, see, I am talking about this picture here, wherein I have a class by name person. Okay, so the name of the class is person. He has two attributes, one or properties. One is the name and the other is the birth date. So the name is of type string and the birth date is of type data. So let's say date is one data type. Okay. So this is the class with attributes. Then I have objects with values. I've told, right? The attributes can take values, then we say it as has some data associated with it, then it becomes values. So I have an object by name Joe Smith who is of type what? Person class. Right? And the name of that, so the name attribute will have name is the attribute. Joe Smith is a value associated with name. Birth date is an attribute. 21st October 1983 or whatever it is. I'm not able to see. 1983, yeah. That is a value associated with the birth date. So this is the object and this is the class. Did you get it? Yes. So this is a class and this is an object associated with this class. Similarly, there is another. We not only attributes, we can have operations associated with the class. So let's take for this in the third case, third diagram. If you see, the person has the attributes name and date of birth. Along with that, he has two methods or operation. One is change of job and the other is change of address. So by this I can summarize that last one. The general format of a class is like this. On the top you will have a class name. Okay. Then you will have attributes. Okay. Attributes in the sense properties, like in case of person, it is name, date of birth. Similarly, you will have operations wherein operations is nothing but functions, okay, which will have an argument list as well as a return type. So just think of it as an operation which will have arguments and return type. Fine. So this is how I give classes. If it is an object, you will have an identity associated with the object, colon class name, which is underlined, and for each of the attribute, you have a value associated with it. Am I clear? Classes and objects. Yes. Now I want you to come up with two classes, all of you, like this. Two classes, one with the name student and another name. I want to construct like this only. The other with the type faculty. In case of student, you have the properties, what and all I had given in last class. I forgot. You can write it down if you want. Student will have name, USN, branch, and SEM. Let's take I don't have the behavior. Okay. A student will have name, USN, branch, and SEM. Write it down if you want. Then faculty will have, someone can type name, employee ID, branch, and subject. Okay. I want you to create two classes like this and create a student object with your own name and a faculty object with my name. Are you getting my, did you get my question? I want a student class, I want a faculty class. Then I want an object with yours, with you as a student and with me as a faculty. Fine, will you all do it? I will give you 5 minutes. This slide is like this only. Only thing is you have to change it for student and faculty. And I'll ask anyone who is present in the class now or whom I've given attendance, they have to send me the snapshot. Anyone I can ask. So I want everyone to try. Fine. Anyone who cannot do can raise up your hands now only. And I can ask you why also. If you have a valid reason, I'll give you an exception. But others who have agreed have to show me. If you have any doubts, if you have any issues, please let me know. I will clear. So you're all fine with this, what I have thought? Okay, good students. If someone is done, just ping me that you have done. So I'll understand that you were able to do. I want everyone to write it in a sheet, take a snapshot, and be ready. If I ask you, then immediately I want you to send it to my WhatsApp number. not in the group, to me itself. Or you are not using phone, you are doing your class in laptop, then I would suggest take a snapshot of your screen, send it to my email id. You want my email id, that also I can type up. Yeah, email id would be fine, guys. Otherwise I will be bombarded with WhatsApp messages. And because nowadays I get so many messages from whom people I don't know, I have stopped responding or seeing my WhatsApp. So you can send me immediately to my email. Anyone done? No one. Okay, fine. I'll give you time. Who has completed? Fast. If none of you, then all of you will be marked absent for two classes today. And you should tell me what you did not get. Kavya done? Okay, send it to my email. Others, Jeevan Raju, Monish, Jeevan, have you done? Lavanya, doing? Jeevan, have you done? Akanksha? Kushi? Yes, Akanksha, are you done? See, now either you people respond or I will. Okay, Kavya sent. Yes, Kavya, very good. The others. Come on. Sir, I can tell you the attributes of a class. Which class do you want? My Mohammed Saif, faculty. Yeah? Name, employee ID, branch, and subject. Name, employee ID, branch, and subject. Even if you miss two or three attributes, I'm fine with this. You can come up with your own. But I want you to know how to write a um, class and how to write an object. Guys, this is not acceptable. Only Kavya. Who else? Jeevan Raju, I asked. What about the others? Even if it is wrong, send it across. I just wanted to see whether whether you people have understood or not. Simply me proceeding without you knowing anything, it does not make sense. Ananya, you have sent. Jeevan, you have sent. Okay, let me check. Good, guys. Okay. Jeevan, you have created for class for student. I told for student and uh, faculty. Jeevan, only mistake what you have done is you have to underline the objects, which you have not done. Good, Jeevan, but good attempt. Thank you. You have to underline. Okay. Next, it is who else has sent? Ananya. Ananya, you also, Ananya, the same mistake. Ananya, the other mistake what you have done is you have to say name is equal to Ananya, USN is equal to so and so, like that. Okay, and underline the object. Fine. Um, I know I am doing something. I wanted to paste the answer of. That's the reason. 1 second, guys. 1 second. See, reason being is if you don't identify what is class, what is object, your learning OMD does not make sense. Leave off. I will feel as a faculty, at least, if not anything, I should teach you what is a class and what is an object. Okay. Please understand that that is the only reason I am trying to. Oh God. Um, The thing is, I am not able to paste her contents on my screen. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Guys, give me 2 minutes. Let me. My presentation got stuck. Okay. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll close the window and. Yeah, Aditi, yours is correct, but again, you have to underline the object. Okay. And other thing is, Aditi, you can't have two, what can I say? Two classes with the same name. Okay, you have said student bar faculty only one. Okay, 1 second, guys. I hope you can see my screen now. As shared the. No. Okay, not visible. Fine. 1 second. Visible? Can someone say whether it is visible or not? Yes. Okay. Um, Most of you, what mistakes you have done? Thanks for all of you sending. Only thing is, I will get. It is not about to test your skills or to pinpoint or to scold you or not give you attendance. I will give you attendance. Only reason is I need to get a feedback whether you're able to understand. Okay, half of you are not listening and you don't understand, it is fine, but those who are listening, at least are you able to get what I am teaching? It will give me a feedback. That is the only reason I'm asking questions. Fine. Okay, see, most of you, what the others have not checked the answers, I will check. Okay, fine, I will check and reply to you, but the correct answer, please all of you observe now. The correct answer is, see, student, I have said the name and what type it is you have to give. Most of the times we give. If you are very new to programming, okay. If you're not don't know, you can leave it. Name is of type string, USN is character, and branch is of type character, SEM is of type int. You can say this. Fine. Faculty also I said name, employee ID, branch. Here also employee ID is a number. If you want to treat it as a number, you can treat. I have no issues with that. It all depends upon if you have told employee ID as number here, it means that you are accepting only numbers. So branch here is a character and subject is string. This also you want to give string, you can give everything string. It is left to you. Now, while giving the student object, all of you what you have made, and here Kavya, you have made this mistake. It is not hyphen. Please understand, it is always a colon. Yeah, it is colon here. Kavya colon student. And name is equal to Kavya, USN is equal to so, branch is equal to CSC, and SEM is equal to 3. Here, similarly, Shilpa, faculty name, colon, faculty, name of the class. See, whatever class name you have given, the same class name will be here. Fine. Name is equal to, see, whatever name you have given here, that whatever the attribute, this is the attribute, name is the attribute, and Shilpa is the value associated with that attribute. So you will be using equal to here. So this is how you will write a class and a student diagram. Fine. Am I clear? All of you? The others, I will check your answers. Okay. I'll check your answers. If there is any mistakes, I will really look into it. Fine. Can I go forward? I have another 5-10 minutes. Let me finish that topic. So almost I think I can finish all my first test portions today. Saturday in my 2 hour class, I will discuss the first assignment questions and answers what you have to write. And I also want you to get your in whichever book or sheets, whatever you're writing your assignment, I want you to be ready with that. Okay? Why, ma'am, you want us to be ready with it? After discussing it, I want you to start writing there. Fine? Is it okay with you all? I think Saturday we can do that. In case if I have not done anything, I will complete it and then start. Maybe 15-20 minutes is what I require to do. After that, I will start with the assignment questions, and I want you to get sheets or book or whatever you are using to get to that class so that you can start writing. Meanwhile, if you have already written or completed, it is well and good. Check whether it is correct or not. I will be checking and telling each of the answers for that questions. Is it okay? Or you don't want that, then it is fine. I have no issues. I can continue with my portions. I will go on with my syllabus. Yes, guys, reply. Only Kavya wants, otherwise, no one else. Okay. But whatever it is, I will be checking the assignments in the class. Today, like today, what I have said, I will ask you to write and I'll ask you to send the snapshots of what you have written. The next is link and association. See, we can have a link is a physical or a conceptual connection among objects. So, two classes or an objects can be connected together. There may be a connection. It may be conceptual or it may be a physical. And this is called as a link. An association tells a group of link with common structure and common semantics. Actually, it is somewhat similar. There exist links. How does it linked with or what is that association that is given by this association? Ma'am, I did not understand. Okay, don't understand. See this diagram. Now, what is this person? Is it a class or an object? First diagram. It is a class diagram, right? How do I identify it as a class diagram? Because it gives only the name. There is no colon. There is no underlining. So it means it is a class diagram. I have a class. What are the two classes here? Yes, what are the two classes? Can someone say in the first thing? What are the two classes which you can identify by seeing this picture? Person and company. So I have a class by name person, and only one attribute is there, that is the name. And there is another class called company. There is only one attribute called name there. So an example of that is person is John, and an example of a company is object is G. G is a company. Similarly, you have so many person objects, each with a name, and company with a name here. Now, there is, if you see this line, there is a link between the person and company. right? So it means that there is a connection between the person and the company. How is it connected? Whether the person works in the company or whether the person is doing a project in a company, how is he associated? The association is given on the top. What is the association? It is not works on, it is not works on project, it is not, it is nothing but owns stock. It means that the person and the company are associated through owns stock. So this person owns the stock with this company. Did you get it? Yes or no? So, in the previous class diagram, if there is a student and faculty, how will the student, the faculty be associated with? If this is student, the first one, instead of person, I have student and this is faculty. Learns student from faculty. Yes. So there is a link between a student and a faculty. And what is that link? How are they associated? Through learning. See, the opposite way is also possible. The links will always be in two dimension. The company is linked to person through the company has shares held by person, like that. That is also vice versa is also possible. Okay. So the various classes can be linked together, right? And who they are linked, it is given by the association. So here we have in the object diagram. So John is a person, he owns stock with the company, whereas Mary also with the GE company, where Susan owns with this object, whereas Alice owns the is associated with IBM. But if you can see, uh, Sue is one person who is having a stock or own stock both in GE and and IBM. Correct? See, we can also tell how many instances of one class are related to the other instance of associated with the other class. Here there is a small star, so this is known as multiplicity. Multiplicity tells how many instances of this are related with the single instance of this. So in this case, star means many to many association. What do I mean by many to many association? Many means any number of people can be associated with any number of companies. That is, more than one person can be associated with more than any companies. So we can see John is one object, Mary is one object. More than one object can be associated with more than one company. That is either with GE or IBM, one or more. This kind of association, that is star and star, is known as many to many association. So, in case of student, if this is student instead of person and this is faculty, what will it be? Many students are associated with many faculty. Agree with this? See, I will not be the person who will be teaching to one single student, right? I can teach for n number of student. So this will be star. And as a faculty, as a student, you will learn from more than one faculties. Yes, that's why it is star here also. No, ma'am, I am learning only from you. Then you are the only faculty teaching for us. Then instead of star, you will have something known as one. So it means that many students are learning from one single faculty. Confusing? Yes. Respond. No. Okay. Fine. Let's say assume I am the only faculty, and in this case I'm teaching only Kavya. No one is else I'm teaching. Then in that case, the student is only one. Here instead of star there will be one, and I'm the only faculty teaching, so here also it will be one. That kind of relation is known as a one to one relationship or one to one association. So I thought you, sorry, I could not, the slides I had done, there were some things which I could not paste. So the first thing is many to many, then you have many to one, or you can have one to one. You can also have one to many. It means that if Kavya learns is the only student who is learning from more than one faculty, then it will be one to many. Next class, I will give more examples and teach you, but this I just wanted to put this concept to your head. Okay? And here this association can also have end names. So, for example, this is a person here. We call it as employee, and this is known as employer. So, in that case, I can have association can have end names. So, this is the employee here and this is the employer here. So these association own stocks. Instead of that, if we have works for, in that case the association can have end names, and also the association can have ordering, how it is related. If there is one to many, then how they are ordered, how they are associated, that can also be given. So this is known as ordering. Then you have something known as sequences. Once there is an ordering, there can be sequences. And also we have something known as association classes. If they are associated by own stock is the association, this can also be class and it can take properties. So these are the things which you have, that is multiplicity, the different types of relationships, associations, and then you have association names, association classes, and association end names. So maybe another 15 minutes I have to give examples. Only thing was I could not copy and paste it. I didn't want to give my own example. I thought I will give in the textbook itself. So next class I will give that example, maybe another 10-15 minutes. And once I am done with that, no sir, association here, Saif, association is own stock. So this can have be a class. Ma'am, what can this class have? Let's say how many number of stocks, the name of the number of stocks, and what is that idea of those stock numbers, all that details. The association here is own stocks. The data related to it or the properties related to it will be the association class. Did you get it, Saif? Company is not an association. It is a class. It is a main class. Fine with this? Okay. Yeah, I know. I will give you examples again in the next class and let you know. Okay? Yes. Own stocks. Yes. Correct. That's why we say the class which is associated with the association. Association is own stock. Actually, I thought I will finish, but I thought I'm doing too much if I complete that also. So next class I will give a brief overview and then complete it. So the students who am I marked absent today, USNs, if in case you are present, let me know. 68 is present, okay. 33 is present. Chirag, why is it that you are never answer in time? So that is it. So can I log out? Okay, guys, thank you so much.